I just feel like I have to put on something high class and fancy for this girl, cause these bitches got money. I don't even know. This ain't no Zeus review. This ain't no Zeus. Usually I'm used to doing Zeus reviews, girl. This is a housewife. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta review. Girl, I gotta put on something. I gotta go get some good clothes. Good girl. I can't come sit up in no regular little t-shirt. Oh my goodness, girl. That was Shamila, baby. With Shamila, girl, I gotta put that shit on. This is a mess. Now, I didn't know if I was gonna review this show because honestly, I am nervous. How do these people do? I've never seen anybody review Housewives. I know it's a thing. People do it all the time. But I've never watched it because I've never watched Housewives up until 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago when the show started airing. So once I noticed the show was airing, I was like, oh my goodness, I've never seen Housewives. My friends talk about it, but I've never watched it. Well, I have to start from the beginning. So I started season 1, episode 1. And when I tell you, them bitches blew my mind. Oh, them bitches blew my mind, girl. Oh my goodness. And I watched swear to God, I watched every single episode from season 1, episode 1. To current day. But I'm not here to review all of those seasons before, okay? I'm here to review the last 2 episodes, okay, of the new season, season 16. But before I move into the new review, with me being a new reviewee of this series, please bear with me. I don't know how this shit goes. Like I said, I usually review Zeus and BT Plus shows, so I've never, you know, stepped into a housewife bag. I haven't watched anybody else's commentary because I don't want to like steal their shit, but I don't know how this goes. I don't know how this goes, so just bear with me this first go around, all right? I'm gonna watch mine, then I'm gonna go watch somebody else's to see if I did it right. Yeah. But enough chatting. Let's roll this intro and get on into the main event, okay? Because, child, it is going down on season 16 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. Okay, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is me reviewing episode 5 and 6 of season 16, all right? So, let me go to my notes, all right? And also bear with me with the names because these girls are new to me, new to y'all, new to my vocabulary. So, bear with me, all right? But the episode opens up with Angela and Britt, okay? They're in this park and I can't remember, one of them is pushing a stroller. And I think it's Britt, okay? And when she's pushing this stroller, I'm thinking, I don't think you got no baby. And they finally pan down to what's in the stroller. And it's a dog in that motherfucker. I said, damn.
I said, damn, bitch.
Okay, all right, cutesy. But they scroll. They finally sit down and of course, it's a conversation to be had about the things that occurred in last week's episode. They also begin talking about how their families require so much and, you know, ask for so much. I guess they're paying for their families' livelihoods. Both Britt and Angela are agreeing like, yeah, you know, my sister asked for this or my mom asked for this, and then they go and they don't have relationships or respect for my husband, this and the other. And I'm thinking, you know, hey, if your mama asked for this and your sister asked for this, why the fuck is your husband paying for it?
Well, hold on on that. Hold on.
You get a couple of bones, so you should be throwing whatever bones you got to them. Definitely if you ain't paying, you know, no bills. If the nigga gotta pay for everything, including your family, I understand why some of these niggas be on that show mad too, because that shit is unacceptable. But they're having this conversation. I really feel it's like a filler conversation, girl, because I just can't get into the new girls. Any which way, next scene. The next scene is Shamia. Okay, I hope I say her name right because she don't play that shit. But Shamia is outside, girl. She is typing her lyrics up on her phone. Baby, go on, relax. Keep it, you know, I'ma handle all that, girl. She out there having a ball, girl. She's typing her lyrics out, finna submit them to Genius, girl.
Talk that tea.
As she's outside, you know, jamming her music, her sister walks out and she pops the bottle of champagne open and she pours her sister up a glass and she's like, girl, I want you to sip a little bit. I'm gonna play my song for you. So she plays Never Had for her sister. They have a little jam out section and that, you know, it is what it is. The next scene is Angela and she is, making dinner. I think her husband is making dinner, right? Yeah, she's talking and he's making dinner. So as she's talking to him, he's kind of like really like aggressive with her a little bit, but like a playful aggressive, what they call it, passive aggressive, not playful aggressive. The playful aggressive, I ain't never heard no shit like that. It's passive aggressive. Girl, he's kind of passive aggressive and he don't want to hear none of that shit. Okay, shout out to Asian dog. Girl, he don't want to hear none of that shit. And she's kind of like giving it up like, why are you acting like that? And that's my thing to these husbands that be on Housewives. Y'all know we is here to film a show, right? So why are you acting like you don't want to hear whatever I say out of my mouth? You need to be trying to figure out how you can respond to it and force a conversation. Why don't I have these husbands be on this show with a whole mic strapped to their motherfucking back, talking about they don't want to talk about something? What the fuck did they mic you for then? What the fuck you think you got the mic on for? I don't understand it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Play into the scene, talk about it, keep the conversation going. Girl, talk. This is what these fucking big ass cameras are in your house for. Talk. The next scene we have Portia. She's trying to figure out how she's gonna get that money by tomorrow.
I need that money.
Okay, because she got, her, what is it, the hair company that she's doing, and she also is selling her sheets. So she's trying to figure out when she gonna do a shoot for this, that, and another, and the third. So baby, she figured out how she gonna get that money for tomorrow. The next scene is Drew and her estranged husband, honey. They outside. Was they outside? I don't know. Yeah, they outside in the yard playing with the kids, okay? Keeping it cool, they outside playing with the kids, bouncing that ball, bouncing that booty like a basketball. If you don't do it at all. But they outside doing whatever they could do. But a conversation does happen between Drew and Ralph, that's his name, okay? A conversation does happen between Drew and Ralph because Ralph says, one of their kids end up bringing a shade room post and asking, hey, what's going on? It's saying y'all are getting a divorce. Honestly, this is my thing though. If there's a child old enough in that house to go and Google something about the parents need to be the first people to tell them. I feel like Ralph or Drew should have pulled whoever the oldest or whoever has social media access to the side and said, hey, this is what's going on in the household so you don't find out on the shade room. Because I'll be mad as a motherfucker if I found out the parents that is up and downstairs and this motherfucker with me are getting divorced and I had to find out on my cellular device what the hell is going on. I digress. The next scene is Kenya and Kelly, and Kelly comes into the salon that Kenya has with security. And Kenya is like, what the fuck is that security about? And that's exactly how I felt about Kenya the first time I seen her when she had security usher Cynthia Bailey's fucking staff out of her own fucking of her own damn agency. I said, oh, but Kenya is confused. I said, that's how I felt about you a couple years ago, bitch. Well, a couple seasons ago.
Excuse me, security. Security. Thank you.
But anyway, that opens up the floor for Kelly to explain that the reason that she had security is because when she was going to court with her ex-husband, he was screaming that he was going to do this, and that to her in the middle of the courtroom. And I said, oh my goodness, now that's a crazy motherfucker. Niggas are crazy, period. But they do a lot of that crazy shit in secrecy. But for him to be in the room with the jurists and judge and police with guns and lawyers and all that shit and say you gonna kill this bitch is crazy. So that's crazy. So I see why she got her security, baby. I would have my security. Kenya Moore's hair care also. But any which way, they end up doing like a little soft little tour. Kenya, of course, takes Kelly around the place to see it. And she's saying, hey, I need to get this done and this done. But for the most part, we're about to open. She's excited for her opening tomorrow. Now, in this same scene, Kenya does briefly get emotional while talking to Kelly because she's saying, tomorrow or however many days it is, the opening will be opening soon, and she's invested so much money and she just hopes everything works out. Right after that scene, we have Britt and her sister chatting about a bunch of nothing, and then we got Drew in the studio singing about a bunch of nothing. So we're gonna skip right past them two scenes, okay? But the girls begin to start getting ready for Angela's event for the night. So of course, we have side by side, this bitch getting ready over there, that bitch getting ready over there, that bitch getting ready over there. Everybody's getting ready because they going to Angela's event, okay? So everybody's putting their big one on and they head out to Angela's little dinner lunch brunch situation. Now, once the girls finally show up to the dinner, Shamia has olive branch. It's olive oil with a branch in it.
I am sincerely sorry for attacking your physical appearance. That's not like me, and I just would like to start over.
And she extends this olive branch to Angela because they had words in the last episode at the, was it Dior store or somewhere? The girl had some words, and Shamia was sucking her nose in, and she called it Latoya Jackson. She called it Latoya Jackson, girl. It was real nasty. It was good nasty. It was good nasty back and forth, man. Okay, that was good housewife keys, because when Portia came in and said hee hee, when Portia came in and hee hee, girl, I said, oh, these bitches are taking it.
I love a Jackson.
But she offers the olive branch this week as an apology, and you know, they have a kiki and they apologize and make up and move on. Really like that. I really like that. I live for Shamia. That money is long, okay? Money is long. Attitude is fabulous, and I've watched her over the last couple of weeks on the other seasons and didn't even know who she was really. Didn't even, because she just comes and she does her scenes. But watching her as a full peach holder, as y'all are saying. But as a peach holder, I'm able to look more into her lifestyle. I didn't know she had that much going on. And she got it the fuck going on. But anyway, she offers her olive branch, honey. And the rest of the girls slowly come in. Okay, now when Kenya gets there, she's in all blue at an all black event. She says she didn't know, and then she quickly changes it from she didn't know, because she's like, well, that's not gonna work. because she keeps saying, I didn't know, girl. That wasn't working for us. So she ends up switching it from I didn't know to I didn't have anything that was black. I said, Kenya, girl, oh my goodness. I don't know if Kenya's just getting old or she done something to her face, but I'm like, girl, what's going on with your face? But any which way, that has nothing to do with the actual show, so I'm gonna move on. Now, the girls are seated at this table, and firecrackers begin immediately because Britt calls out Drew for not buying anything at the Christian Dior, whatever store. I can't remember what store that was at. It's a store I never been at because I don't have the budget to. But they was at that store and Drew didn't buy anything. So Britt calls her out, right? Yeah, Britt calls Drew out for not buying anything. And Drew, of course, girl, I live for Drew and her. Well, I used to live for her and her storyline. I don't live for it now. But I live for Drew and her lies, okay? Because one thing about it, she's going to act her ass off and she's going to secure whatever next film she can get, okay? So she, of course, starts lying and saying, no, I bought my son a blazer. And she shows text messages of, conversing with a sales agent. There's no receipt. There's no son in a blazer. There's none of that. we can't prove it, bitch. She can't prove it, okay? She only shows a conversation that she had with the salesman. And I'm thinking in my head, why the fuck are you texting the salesman when you was supposed to, everybody was in this bitch with the salesman. You supposed to buy it right then and there. Like, but that's the type of bitch I want you to expand on your lies. Like, I would have heard that and I would have asked her, well, why the fuck are y'all texting anyway when you were in there? But maybe she just didn't give a fuck. But because the conversation was pretty much deaded after that. But they were calling her out in the confessionals. I would have been calling her ass out right then and there. We would have been arguing about that fucking jacket for about 45 minutes. Cause bitch, why the fuck are you texting nigga? He was right there. Y'all wouldn't even have the exchange number. Exchange the receipts. Okay? But any which way, Shamia ends up playing her song for the group, okay? She ends up playing her song for the group. It's Baby Get On, Relax, Sit Back, Baby Come On, Kick Back. Okay, so as Shamia is playing her song, Portia she's not thinking it's Shamia. She's like, who that? I'm waiting on Shamia to come in, and the whole time, it's Shamia. The whole time, there's no open verse, no feature, nobody else on the backgrounds, baby. The whole thing is Shamia. So I'm looking at Portia, and I'm just like, sometimes I forget. I'm so entertained with Portia in the scene that I forget that she has these, very interesting, weird moments, okay, with people. And I'd be so entertained by her because, like I say, she has her moments. Once Portia is eating, Portia is eating. But when she's being weird, Portia's being weird. So I'm like, well, bitch, I know she just told all of y'all, not just you, all of y'all, that she better play her song. And she didn't say her verse. She said her song. And then y'all got pictures hanging out in the 4th grade. You mean to tell me you don't know her voice? You should be able to go deaf and still be able to hear your best friend's voice. The way y'all been friends for that long, it should be recognizable within 3 seconds. But any which way, Portia asked, are you even on it? Any which way, Kenya is bopping along, okay? Kenya is bopping along. One thing about Kenya, Kenya's gonna support. Kenya's gonna support. She gonna have a ball, baby. Kenya is drunk, snapping her fingers, moving her head. Okay, she's having a ball. But after that, the girls began this game of shady questions. And I was like, oh, girl, this is where it's about to go down. They have these index cards, and people have wrote questions to ask to different girls, but their names are not attached to these questions. Now, for the first couple of questions, the girls were doing fine. But once it got to Britt and Kenya, things escalate. Okay, things escalate, and girls like they end up they all like to jump up from the table. I guess they all mutually agree that the scene is over. I guess they mutually agree that the scene is over. So the girls hop up, and all of them are headed out. Now, as they're headed out and trying to demic or whatever, Britt is going on, and she's like talking about so she got whips and chains and pistols, and I'm thinking like, not over the index card. That's all I could keep thinking, is not over the index card. I can't think that a question on the card for a TV show recording or taping could escalate you so angry where you feel like you got to pull out the whips, the chains, and the pistols. I just, I don't understand that. So that was a bit much for me, but that is where the episode ends, okay? She's walking that way. Her husband is trying to calm her down and get the mic off of her because she's crashing out, so we gotta get this bitch demiked. And Kenya is the girl, she's waiting on her driver, but she hops her ass in the car with Porsche, bitch. Kenya was waiting on her driver, but once she heard about the whips and chains and pistols, baby, she hops her ass in the car with Porsche, and they get down on it. That is how the episode ends. I didn't expect myself to be reviewing it this long, so I guess I'll just end my review here and do another review for next week's episode, because I know I have a lot to say about this next episode. So, if you watched this first episode review, thank you so much for entertaining my shenanigans to the end, because I don't know how to review these episodes just yet. When I come back around next week, I'm a murder it, okay? I'm a murder it, baby, okay? But I'm still getting, I'm getting used to it. I've never done a Housewives review. I'm a little nervous. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Make sure you guys be safe, be blessed, and I'll definitely see you in next week's episode.